the end of that.
Just read it.
Well, this was taken at Camp Lee, Virginia. That's where Daddy was stationed. He was a baker. He had a good job. He was a baker in the Army. Also shows the new double-deck barracks, which are being built in all the camps throughout the country to house men of the new draft. They were drafting them back then. Residents of this paper who want a photo, readers of this paper who want a photographic copy of this picture may obtain it by sending 10 cents to the Division of Pictures, Committee on Public Information, Washington, D.C., and enclose this clipping or mention photograph number 1122.
Okay, and that was in that
This is in
envelope.
1918 in the Army. Granddaddy was in the Army then.
Right.
And he evidently sent
And
this.
he sent that to his parents in Senoia.
Yeah. Enjoying the game. You see those just big old double-story barracks. You know, it was a good experience for me to work at the base hospital at Fort Jackson. You know I did that, don't you? And what war was going on then?
Korea.
Korea, I reckon, I don't know.
Yeah.
Way back there in 1950. They would bring them in. They had a lot of, it was one of the biggest training forts in the country. And they'd go out on bivouac. And they'd have to really do it just like they was fighting, all but shooting each other. And they'd bring them in, had one ward full of, it's been about 40 beds in that ward, just great big long wards. And when I first got pregnant, I'd get cystitis so bad, just that little changes in your lower body, you know. I was with the doctor one day. I said, "Doctor, I'm pregnant and I'm about to die. I've got to go to the bathroom." I just told him. He said, "Honey, go on." We had civilian doctors and Army doctors too, and Army nurses. I ate in the mess, in the officers' mess. They had good Lord, they had tables long as from here to my back door, down here and up here. That you could get anything. All the officers, see, and the nurses, civilian nurses, was allowed to eat in the officers' quarters. Boy, did they feed. I mean, it was good. And Daddy, some guy that Daddy knew, I know he charged him, I've forgotten what he paid him, at $5, I think, could make a fake pass to get out. So there was at first they didn't give him passes. And I'd keep my cap on, and I'd go pick Daddy up. As soon as I'd get off, he'd get in off his training day about the same time, and I'd go around and just wait at his barracks. And go to Charles. Charles was a cook up there. I'd go around to Charles's barrack. He'd tell me the day before. He'd come out there with me great big nice sandwiches, a big glass of tea. But anyway, Daddy, they're back to him. I lost my thought again. I hate when
he was at Fort Lee.
Fort Jackson. Fort Jackson.
Oh, I thought it was Fort Lee, Virginia.
Well, maybe this just came out in the paper. Daddy wasn't ever stationed
Okay.
there. I guess they just...
He was where? Stationed where?
Fort Jackson at Columbia, South Carolina.
No, I'm talking about Granddaddy is what we was talking about.
I think this was where he was, at Camp Lee.
Right.
Baseball in camp. There's something in there looks like cursive writing, but I can't read it. You got a magnifier on. 3 ball games in a row supply the fans and khaki their fill of baseball and keep their lungs in perfect trim. The boys are a bit hard up for baseball material, but as long as the bat and ball are handy, it is only a question of picking sides. This photograph taken at Camp Lee, Virginia. That's where it was taken. It was probably just in a paper that Daddy probably cut it out and sent it home. But Daddy was at my daddy might have been at Camp Lee. He probably was. He was at Camp. Yeah, Daddy. Yeah, your daddy. My husband. My daddy was at Camp Lee, Virginia.
Right.
And so that's the reason.
1918.
Yeah.
With that letter. Show us that envelope again. Let me get a close-up of it.
Petersburg, Virginia.
Show it right here.
That's a treasure to have, isn't it?
Show it. Point it. Let me get video. There we go.
I said that's a treasure to have, isn't it? If I could get something.
So that letter's 100. That's 95 years old.
Isn't that something?
What's the date on the letter?
July 13th, 1918. You'll label that.
Oh, I will.
If you can.